Good evening and welcome to this very special interview. It's with the British Prime Minister, David Cameron. Just 43 years old, the youngest British Prime Minister in 198 years. I'm not going to ask him what it feels like mixing around with all of us in India. But he's only just moved into Downing Street, 10 Downing Street, from Notting Hill Gate or North Kensington.
We had a family home in North Kensington. And,
what's it like, Downing Street? What was the move like?
Well, it's a big change because you're used to living at home with your family and then suddenly you're living above the office. So it is a big change and it doesn't quite feel like home. But I hope we'll get used to it.
But you had to kind of do any fixtures and fittings, like change the kitchen furniture?
So far, hardly anything, but there's number 10 Downing Street and there's number 11 Downing Street, and we start living above number 10, and we hope to move above number 11, where we're making some changes to the flat because we've got a new baby on the way, and so we need to make some preparations.
Right, so it's getting back to making a home again.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good fun, actually.
It is, although you're very close to the office, so when you walk out of your front room and you go down the stairs, suddenly there's everyone working and computers. Well, it's a short trip to work, but it makes it feel less like home because you're on top of the office.
Yeah. Well, you can get used to staying at 10 Downing Street because you're a young man and you're going to be re-elected, right?
Well, we've just had an election where we my party didn't quite win an overall majority. So we formed this coalition government, which you're used to in India. This is very new for us. But it's working well. We have good relationships, a good partnership. And it means that we have majorities in both our upper house and our lower house. We're able to get things done and we can look to the long term.
Did you have to compromise a lot?
We had to make some compromises. Coalition involves compromise.
Like one. Name one that hurt a bit.
There's some of the policies on tax and crime, some things we had to change. But I like to think we have a lot of conservative policies we are producing, which are very important, particularly on getting our deficit under control, getting our economy growing again, making Britain one of the most enterprising, making us an enterprising country again.
What's your stand on Kashmir?
Well, we want, obviously, India and Pakistan to have good relations and to have good dialogue and to discuss and to settle these issues between them. It is for India and Pakistan to do that.
Right. But you don't intend to mediate, and you think this is India's issue?
I don't think, frankly, Britain is in a great place to mediate on this issue, and we welcome the fact that India and Pakistan have had more contacts, and but it is for you to decide.
Right. So I would say that's the first change from what Miliband said and what Cook said. Would you call that a change?
Well, I don't seek to draw dividing lines and divisions. I will handle this relationship and the important issues in the way that I think right. I came to India as one of the first trips I made as leader of the opposition back in 2006 because I think there's a real opportunity for Britain and India to have a really strong partnership for the future. Of course, we have this great relationship going into the past and shared history and language and culture, but it's the future I'm interested in, where I think for our economies there's so much we can do together. There are so many global issues like climate change and security. We should be working together. And I think that is what this opportunity is about. So that's why I've only been Prime Minister for a few months, but I wanted to come to India as fast as I could to make the case for this relationship.
I'll tell you another change which you brought up. You came to India because Obama first went to China, then he's coming to India. Gordon Brown first went to China, then came to India. You've come to India before China. Is that part of the special relationship? Well,
the special relationship is special because of our country's history and what I hope we're going to do for the future. But I don't think people should read too much into, for a country like Britain, it shouldn't be India or China. Or, we have to have relationships with all countries, but with India, as we are two democracies, as we believe in the rule of law.
Signal
well, I've come and I hope that it is received positively.
The Chinese, but you've come here first, right?
Yeah, of course. Okay, and also bringing with me, I think, which is important, a plane full of not just business leaders, but some of Britain's best business leaders, but also leaders of our top museums, great sporting stars, people involved in the cultural industries. Because I think this relationship, yes, it's about business, but it's also about defence and security and culture and sport, and it's also a relationship between the British people and Indian people.